What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at this, the beautiful ESV Omega. This is the heirloom Bible and goatskin leather. It's kind of one of the standard premiums out there, and it just so happens I was finally able to get one so I can review it for you guys. This is a really nice Bible. I'm excited to show you what's inside it to help you find a Bible that you might be looking for. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So after much ado, I didn't go through and count, but I've done quite a few. I want to say a couple hundred Bible reviews, and I've never had an Omega, and here it is. So it comes in these beautiful, this is by Crossway, by the way, for those of you who might be this might be your first review with this channel. ESV is put out by Crossway. This particular Bible is the heirloom. Okay, this is the Omega Edition, but it isn't the heirloom. I guess you'd call it collection. So that's in goat skin, and this is black. There's the ISBN number for those of you who might be interested. And they retail for about $350. Now, don't let that number scare you. A, it is worth that. B, you can find it right now on Amazon for just over $200. So they go on sale often. You can find them less than full retail price. And this is a fantastic Bible. It'll last you a lifetime. So it comes with this really nice two-piece box. And again, this black box, you all know, if you have this sitting on your shelf or whatever the case, this is a really nice heirloom quality Bible. It gives you just a little bit on the back, 10-point type, and we'll take a look at these things. Art gilding, 4 ribbon markers, okay? And a lifetime guarantee. So let's get rid of the box. And when you open up the box, you get this, which is their pledge. You get these with their Bibles that say they are with the premium Bibles. You get lifetime guarantee. If something happens with it, you can essentially contact them and they will replace it, I'm assuming. I've never had this problem. I've never had a Bible separate, like the binding separates from the pages or something. I've never had that happen. So I've never had to take advantage of this. If you have, let me know and let me know how the process went for you. I'd be curious to hear down in the comments. So all your premium Bibles come wrapped in this nice kind of felt material, which is just nice to protect it since it is a rather pricey Bible. And here it is. Here we go. The ESV Omega. Now, this is not a thin line Bible, but what's interesting is I wonder technically it's just the company, my guess is, that qualifies it as that or as not that. But this is a pretty thin Bible. My thumb's about an inch there. And so this is just over an inch thick. And it really is a fantastic size. So it's going to be hard for me not to switch to this for my full-time Bible here. And but it's goatskin leather, nice and black and floppy. Okay, and we see this kind of gold art gilding. Now this conversation just came up in the recent past. That is going to go away just a little bit. I actually like that. The more you use that, the more that's going to kind of get damaged. But it looks really pretty when it's brand new. And I love when the art gilding gets a little damaged and the pages get torn up. Maybe it's just because it makes me feel like I'm actually using my Bible. But you know I like my raised hubs. So you're going to get 4 raised hubs here. Holy Bible, ESV, English Standard Version, and then the Crossway logo. I always try to give some constructive criticism. I don't know that we need both the ESV logo and English Standard Version. But again, I have to get nitpicky. This is such a nice Bible that I have to get nitpicky on it here. It is a sewn binding, and it looks like it only has 2 ribbons because 2 of them are put in together. So that's going to be my second little nitpicky thing here is while they gave us 4, and you all know I like my ribbons. I really do. They gave us 4, but the ribbons are kind of small. For a Bible that is a premium Bible and a high price point Bible, I would prefer better ribbons. Not only better, but better and longer. But again, this is nitpicky. I know a lot of you guys out there don't care too much about ribbons. Some of you remove them. So, goat skin tabbed into the block. For those of you who may be new to premium Bibles, it's going to look like this, and it's going to be hard to separate. Don't ever separate that. When I was a kid, I used to kind of tear that apart. Then your Bible falls apart. That's how the book block is tabbed into. That's how it's connected to the cover. And this, because it's done this way, is what is going to help make it last a long, long time. I was just talking to one of my pastors. He's had a number of not premium Bibles, just Bibles, even just leather Bibles, and they end up separating right here. Well, once you bump up to premium, you get a whole lot of extra protection for that. So you're going to get your presentation page. I've said this on almost every Bible review I've ever done. Fill out the presentation page, folks. You never know who's going to get this in the next 100 years from now. Which one of your family members is going to be reading this Bible and really want more information? Because I have a couple of Bibles that are a little over 100 years old, 120 years old, and I wish it had more information. That leads me to the second amazing part of this Bible, and that's this. I don't know what we call this, but this is like an extended presentation page. I love this. My day-to-day carry, I'm actually currently using the ESV Topaz, and I fill these out. Now, I don't have tons of marriages and births and adoptions happening yet, but I will in the next few years. So fill that information out. Folks, our faith, we want to leave a legacy of faith, and being able to pass down a Bible with that information in it, I just think is super cool. So thank you, Crossway, for including that. Now we get to the legal information here. I'll zoom in just a teeny bit for you guys if that's something that you would like to read. And you will notice that it's printed in the Netherlands. So again, you're getting top quality stuff here. We all kind of like the Bibles that we have that are printed in the Netherlands. They tend to put out really great paper, really great quality. And you get your basic 66 books of the canon. In a Bible like this, I often say that's as opposed to a study Bible, the table of contents is just what it is. It's very basic. It's the 66 books of the canon. And that's just about it. You have a concordance in the back, and we'll take a look at that. You get a preface. I always suggest that you read this on every translation, because this would be the translation philosophy, the principle, why they interpreted words the way they did from the Hebrew to the English, or from the Greek to the English. And what makes this Bible, the English Standard Version, slightly different than, say, the New King James Bible or say, an NIV. So read that in every translation that you get. And there's a really nice explanation of features here. This just kind of tells you how to use this particular Bible. It is a reference Bible, so it does have an extensive cross-reference system. Okay. And then there's always footnotes, textual notes and stuff like that. And then we get into scripture. Now, I don't think I've said this in like 50 Bible reviews, because I just kind of started forgetting, but each one of these chapters starts on its own page. I know that's silly. I used to mention that in the beginning of this channel, just because it was a thing for me. And I love when they start on a new page, as opposed to starting here. Okay. For some reason, I just never loved that. Now, you might notice as I'm flipping through here, as the pages, the nice little art gilding there. So, I want to say, you guys know that I'm colorblind, but that's probably rose gold, and how pretty it is. Now, you might also notice these little like white breaks in that. You can kind of see some of them a little bit better than others, but that would be the signatures. That would be all the pages that are connected in this particular section and sewn together, which is one of the reasons, one of the things that makes it premium and will help it last longer, is those sewn together signatures. All right, so as we are taking a look at this, let's flip open here to, I put a couple of bookmarks in. You guys know, here we go, Isaiah. You know I like Isaiah and Jeremiah for book reviews, and here's why. Because you can take a look at a whole lot of things right here on one page. You can see that this is a double column paragraph format Bible, okay? So the standard text is 10-point font. And here's a little fun fact that when I was doing this review, they actually mentioned this somewhere. I forget where. I think on the webpage. The references, that would be this section. Your reference suite is on the bottom right. Your references are 5.8-point font. I've just never noticed that before. And on this particular Bible, they mentioned that. And you can see just in comparison, what your standard section is going to be versus your poetic section here, and what those look like together. Now, I think showing up on the video, it's showing up pretty good. Two things. One, that there is a little bit of ghosting here. The paper is on the thinner side, which helps keep the Bible thinner. Now, if you open the page or you're flipping around, it's not as bad. But when you put it up in the poetic section, you're going to be able to see a little ghosting. Some folks call it show through, whatever you want to call it. But what that shows us is, A, in the poetic section, You're never going to get rid of ghosting unless your paper is like actual book thickness paper. It's just not going to go away. But what you can see here is a nice illustration of line matching. So the line behind it matches up with the line in front of it. So in sections like this, the ghosting doesn't kind of interrupt your reading. The spaces are always spaces, and that's super nice. It's, in my opinion anyway, it makes the Bible much easier to read. And just kind of more pleasant to look through. So this Bible has more than 80,000 cross references. You can see as I'll open it up here. Again, they're in the bottom right section, and then your footnotes are all along the bottom. There's not a ton of room to write here, so you get about a half an inch. If you like to journal and write in your Bibles, this one might not be the one for you, but there is plenty of room for underlining. They haven't tried to squish too many words onto the page or too many lines onto the page, which is really, really nice. It is high quality European paper. You can even see, like, when I'm holding it in my hand right now. I can't get it far enough away from the camera without dropping it. But just holding it, the words don't go too far into the gutter. Sometimes the words get really far down in there. Very pleasant to hold, very pleasant to read, a perfect amount of floppiness level. And I'm not all just saying this, but I really do believe these things. I've had my hands on a lot of premium Bibles, and this one really is good. Some of my friends on like Instagram and such were kind of laughing at me because this is the first Omega I've ever gotten. And the Omega is kind of the Omega, right? So you might notice, since we're sitting here in Matthew, that this is black letter. So this is a black letter text. For some of you, that's a deal breaker. For some of you, that is a deal maker. I always find that fascinating. If you have an opinion one way or another, drop it down in the comments. I'm curious to hear what you have to say about that. And as we flip to the end here, you'll see your abbreviations. You do get a small concordance. It's nice that you get a concordance. I don't tend to use these concordances a whole lot, but only because I use an exhaustive concordance. When I'm at home, I have a Strong's exhaustive concordance that has it all, but they're nice to have on the fly. Some people use these for Bible study purposes, and that's fantastic. And you get these really nice maps. I can't say enough about the maps they include, especially in situations like this where they're outlining like a town for you. This is Jerusalem in the time of Jesus. For me, for the visual learners out there, this is helpful. Actually, the last review I just did was on the Old Testament handbook. It had a lot of these type of things. That's put out by a different company. But you know I like my visual aids. And then you have quite a handful of pages of just cardstock in the back here. This is nice. I love when they include extra paper, so you could write on this with no problem. And because it's cardstock, your pen isn't going to push through it or bleed through or anything like that. If you want to take some of your own notes, you could do that in the back. And it says goatskin leather right there. This is a really nice Bible. At the end here, let me zoom out just a little bit because I didn't tell you this up front, but for those of you who are still hanging in there, I happen to have a ESV, another heirloom Bible. So same quality. This one happens to be Horween leather, but this is the Legacy. So I just want to open it up for you real quick and show you what you're going to get. This is, I kind of want a Horween Bible. I have my perfect Bible and it's not built yet, but someday it will be. So this is single column, right? So let's open them up together just so you see. But very same quality, same with the exception this is Horween leather and this is goatskin sewn binding, same company, right? Just almost the same size font, but I just want you to see the difference in layout, like right next to each other, and what you might get in a Omega, which would be the one on the right, versus the Legacy, which would be the one on the left. And I don't have the third version, but maybe someday I will. The Heritage, I believe, is the third version. But here you go. Just something quick to look at. If you're a single column versus double column, something that might help you make a decision. And this one's definitely a little bit thicker. So I would call this Horween Bible like the typical everyday ordinary Bible size. You can see how much thinner it is. All right, so we're going to kind of wrap it up with that. As always, if you have any questions that I have not answered, please leave them down in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. A full review of the ESV Heirloom Omega Edition. Super excited to show this to you. I've been wanting an heirloom, or I've been wanting an Omega for years now, and I finally got one. Hey, thank you guys for watching today. I hope you found value. I want to say a special thanks to Crossway for sending me this Bible so I can review it for you. It really is a big privilege to be able to get these Bibles, show you what's in them, show you what's out in the world, try to pair you up with a Bible that you'll read and that you'll spend time growing closer to God. So thank you, Crossway, for that. If you're new here to the channel, we put out content just like this regularly every week to help encourage and equip you to be the Christian that you claim to be. So if you're not yet, consider subscribing. And if you've watched a handful of these videos and find value in them, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up, share them with your friends. That way YouTube will put them in front of more people that could get a whole lot of help out of them just like you did. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, be the Christian you claim to be.